Today, we're going to be answering a big question. Is it possible to watch every single episode of Hermitcraft? If you play Minecraft and consume content on the internet, the chances are high that you've probably seen a Hermitcraft video in your life. Hermitcraft is one of the longest running survival multiplayer series. It's separated into seasons, with each season being a complete reset of the Minecraft world. These seasons last years, with some hermits putting out hundreds of videos per season. As of May 2025, there have been 10 vanilla seasons. The seasons range in number of players, but the current Season 10 world has 25 hermits on it. Hermits all create episodic content, and the number of episodes per season depends on the hermit. Watching Hermitcraft content, especially as a newcomer, can feel very daunting. Where do you start? Which hermit do you watch? Well, the answers to these will depend on the individual. I can give my 2 cents here. For me, I was lucky enough to see the launch of the last few Hermitcraft seasons, and so I was able to start at episode 1 for several hermits. As time has gone on, the number that I watch has become more narrow. There are some hermits like Etho and Grian that I watch almost every episode for. Others I catch streams of, like Impulse and Tango. Other hermits like Mumbo I try to catch videos for, but I've fallen behind in recent weeks. As I began to watch the number of episodes I hadn't seen from Mumbo continue to climb over the past month, I couldn't help but wonder, is it even possible to watch every single Hermitcraft episode? Now, I'm not talking physically possible, because yes, of course, you can play every video on YouTube. But my question is this: if you began watching every single episode of Hermitcraft from Season 1, would you be able to catch up to the current season? How long would it take? In this video, we're going to conquer this question. We're going to do math. And by we, I mean me. I did a lot of math for this video, so if you could drop a like and subscribe to my channel, that would be super appreciated. I'm hoping to reach 10,000 subscribers by the end of 2025. First, let's determine how much content we're talking about. To do this, we need to narrow down our criteria. First off, we will only be looking at canon vanilla seasons. This means season 1 through 10. Hermitcraft has had many spin-off series such as UHC, Hardcore, and Modded, which are all going to be excluded. We're also going to exclude any content that is from non-hermits or guests who may have created content well on the vanilla Hermitcraft seasons. This means cameos like Solidarity Gaming, who visited to play minigames on the series, or In the Littlewood, who helped host the charity events in Season 9 and 10. This also excludes the members of Empire's SMP, who spent some time on Hermitcraft Season 9 and created episodes of their own during this time. Since they weren't true members of Hermitcraft, just guests, I'm going to exclude them. This leaves us with the following conditions. For a video to be considered a Hermitcraft episode, it must take place on the vanilla Hermitcraft season by a hermit who at the time was considered to be a full active hermit. The video must be released on YouTube and be labeled or considered an episode. We are not considering content released on other platforms or for members only. Streams are only considered if they're labeled and released as an episode as well. I will be using a combination of the Hermitcraft wiki and my own digging through YouTube videos to procure the videos. Disclaimer, I am not a robot, and all counting of episodes was done by hand. This means there will be mistakes, and I caught quite a few as I was making the graphs for this video, but I feel fairly confident that by the end, my margin of error was quite low. If there's any glaring problems with my calculations, you are welcome to let me know in the comments down below. Now, how will I be calculating this all? To start, I created a Google Sheet and made different pages for each season. For each hermit, I have one column counting the number of episodes. In the second column, I have the duration of each episode. For this column, I had to make sure the number format was for duration. This allows me to total the whole column at the end, gathering a number for how many total hours of content there is for a hermit. Compared to my Hermitcraft fanfic analysis, this calculation was a little easier. The hardest part of all this was gathering the numbers. I had to do it by hand, going through playlists either made by the hermits themselves or fans. For some context, each day I was able to do about a season and a half. Getting the durations for 100 episodes took me about 7 minutes. So as I get to the numbers and you see quite how many videos there are, I hope you understand truly how long this took me. Unlike my fanfic video, the graphs here are going to be mostly from Google Sheets default graphs. I tried to make it fancy and it just didn't work out, and there's way too many of them for this video, so I hope you can accept that and know that I tried my best. Now, before I get to the results, write in the comments below your predictions about how much content there is and the possibility of watching it all. Do you think it's possible? Do you think you need to dedicate multiple full days to get it done? Before I gathered all the numbers, I made the hypothesis that I think it would only be possible if you choose a select number of hermits and a select number of seasons. But let's do some math and figure it out. We're going to separate this out into seasons. For each season, I'll give you a couple of graphs. We will look at the hours of content per hermit, number of episodes per hermit, and the average episode length per hermit. Something to note here is that I'm only including content that I could physically watch right now in May of 2025. There are some hermits who have wiped entire seasons of Hermitcraft content or just certain episodes. I will be covering some of these in the season stats, but I decided not to include them in any analysis if the video is truly inaccessible. To be quite honest, finding out that some hermits' entire seasons were gone was kind of sad to me. It was like a piece of history had been wiped away. It's truly a bit of lost media now, with only the Hermitcraft wiki pages and the Hermitcraft recap clips to show that this content ever existed at all. Kind of a tragic finding in this otherwise math-heavy research. Season 1 starts us off on April 13th, 2012. The season began in Minecraft version 1.2.5 and ended in version 1.5.2 on June 7th, 2013. The season had 29 hermits, with 3 hermits only streaming content and 2 hermits making no content at all. 4 years ago, the Hermitcraft Biffa 2001 deleted all of his Hermitcraft videos from seasons 1 through 6. In a Reddit post on r/Hermitcraft, the mods were able to confirm with Biffa that he left the group on good terms. However, he removed all the videos and basically erased all of his Hermitcraft content. Hermit's co-star and Kirscher also deleted some of their videos. I am also counting prank episodes from Hypno and Monkey Farm. These prank episodes were kind of a trend in the early seasons of Hermitcraft to do. For some reason, they just didn't want to include them in their main episodes, but they were kind of labeled episodes, so they're being included here. That leaves us with 21 hermits who have season 1 videos still up. For a total duration of episodes, Azuma, Generic B, and Hypnotize come out on top with over 40 hours of content each. The average duration for all of season 1 is 17 hours of content. For number of episodes, Azuma, Joe Hills, Generic B, and Top Mass are at the top with 90 or more episodes in the season. Hermits Aurelian, Cube Monster, and B-Dubs each have less than 10 episodes on the server. The average number of episodes for all hermits in season 1 is 39 episodes. For average episode length, 6 hermits had averages of over 30 minutes. These are Generic B, King Daddy, Hypno, Static, Corrales, and Pungence. Almost every hermit had average episodes of over 20 minutes. The average episode length in season 1 is 26 minutes. When combining all of these episodes together, season 1 gives us 368 hours of content. That is 15 straight days of season 1, 822 episodes total. Season 2 began June 9th, 2013 and ended October 9th of 2014. The season began in version 1.6 snapshots, continuing into version 1.8 snapshots. Season 2 had many new hermits joining, with the number of hermits increasing to 34. Hermits Biffa, Kirscher, and Spumwack have deleted videos for this season, and 2 hermits only streamed content. Justra also deleted episodes 6 to 11 of his season 2, so these will not be included in my count. I am also including Mumbo's prank episodes, as I spoke about in season 1. This leaves us with 29 hermits to get numbers from. For a total duration of episodes, Azuma, Zombie Cleo, and Mumbo take the top 3 spots. 13 hermits have under 10 hours of content. The average total duration is 16 hours and 29 minutes. For number of episodes, the same hermits of Azuma, Zombie Cleo, and Mumbo have over 100 episodes. Joe Hills and Slipgator are close behind. The season 2 average episode count is 40 episodes. For average episode length, we have a bit of a strange situation. The hermit Deutroid seems to have only released split up streams as episodes, making the content quite long. These are labeled as episodes and are considered episodes on the Hermitcraft wikis, so I decided to include them. Deutroid comes out as our highest average episode length with 1 hour and 48 minutes. The next highest are the Pixel Nerds, Marilyn, and Corrales, who all have average episode lengths of over 30 minutes. Even with our high outlier, the average episode time for this season is 27 minutes and 24 seconds. Combining all these episodes together, we have a total of 1,177 episodes. This is 478 hours, 7 minutes, and 59 seconds. That is 19 straight days of Hermitcraft Season 2 content. We're only 2 seasons in, and already we can see there's a lot of episodes out there. Season 3 began on October 17th, 2014 in version 1.8 and it continued until February 23rd, 2016. Well, 4 new hermits joined, many more left, leaving us with 26 hermits. 1 hermit only streamed, and Biffa and Spumwack deleted all of their seasons. Zul'jin also removed a lot of episodes from his season as well. This leaves us with 23 hermits to look at. For total duration of episodes, Hermitcraft and Azuma are at the top with over 70 hours of content each. False, Mumble, and Zul'jin are all over 40 hours. The average duration for Season 3 is 23 hours and 59 minutes. For number of episodes, XB, False, Azuma, and Mumbo are at the top with over 100 episodes. 5 hermits have 10 and under videos, and the average episode count for this season is 61. For average episode length, every single hermit is over 15 minutes. King Daddy and Corrales have the highest, with episodes averaging over 30 minutes. The average for all hermits is 24 minutes. Combining all these episodes together, we have a total of 551 hours and 47 minutes of Season 3 content. That's 1,422 episodes and 22 straight days of content. Season 4 began February 25th, 2016 in version 1.9. This season ended April 8th, 2017 in version 1.11.2. But Biffa, Hypno, and Monkey Farm have no episodes. Zombie Cleo included live streams as episodes, so those are counted in their total. This leaves us with 21 hermits to look at. For total duration of episodes, Iskal, Mumbo, and Wells Knight take the top with over 60 hours of content each. The average for all hermits is 34 hours of content. For number of episodes, Joe Hills, Mumbo, and False are leading with over 150 episodes each. On the other hand, Hermitcraft and Jasassin only made 3 episodes each for this season. The average episode count for all hermits in Season 4 is 84. For average episode length, Iskal, Doc, and Zul'jin are all above 30 minutes. Every other hermit is over 15 minutes, which is really consistent. Our average episode length is 25 minutes. Combining all these episodes together, we have a total of 724 hours, 50 minutes. With 1,767 episodes, that is 30 days straight of Season 4 content. Season 5 began April 13th, 2017 on Snapshot 17, Week 6A, and ended on July 14th, 2018 in version 1.12.2. Stress Monster sadly deleted all of her seasons of Hermitcraft when she departed, so her content cannot be included. Cleo again counted some streams as episodes, so those will be included. With all that, we have 21 hermits in this season to look at. For total duration of episodes, we have 4 hermits with over 70 hours of content: Cubfan, XB, Mumbo, and Wells. The average duration for Season 5 is 39 hours. For number of episodes, we have XB, Cub, Mumbo, and Joe, all having over 160 episodes. Etho is the lowest this season with only 7 episodes. The average episode count for Season 5 is 91 episodes. For average episode length, Scar, Iskel, B-Dubs, and Doc all have an average of over 30 minutes per episode. Most hermits are in this mid-20s range, and the average episode length for Season 5 is 26 minutes. Combining all of these episodes together, we have a whopping total of 838 hours, 44 minutes, and 22 seconds. That's over 34 days, over a month worth of Season 5 content. As we continue in seasons, the numbers seem to keep getting higher. In this halfway point, feel free to leave a comment or update the one that you left if you think your guess was too high or too low. Season 5 has a total of 1,928 episodes. Season 6 is the second longest season of Hermitcraft and began July 19th, 2018 in version 1.13. It lasted until February 24th, 2020 in version 1.14.4. This season had 24 hermits, but Biffa and Stress have no episodes. XB also only streamed this season, so he is not being counted. That leaves us with 21 hermits. For total duration of episodes, we have 4 hermits having over 70 hours of content: Iskal, Jevin, Doc, and Cubfan. 3 hermits also have under 10 hours: Corrales, B-Dubs, and Jasassin. The average total duration is 45 hours. For number of episodes, we have most hermits producing over 100 episodes. Cubfan is at the top with a record 219 episodes. Jevin, Iskal, and Azuma all have over 170 episodes. This is the highest average number of episodes for a season so far at 108. For average episode length, we have a higher outlier of Jasassin. This is largely because their last Hermitcraft episode was an hour and a half, significantly boosting the time to 43 minutes. Doc and Ren have over 30-minute average, with every other hermit averaging over 20 minutes. So the average episode length for Season 5, trusting that 5 times fast, is 26 minutes. Combining all of these episodes together, we have a grand total of 963 hours and 12 minutes. With 2,285 episodes, this season alone would take you 40 straight days to get through. Season 7 began February 28th, 2020 in version 1.15.2 and ended June 12th, 2021 on version 1.16.4. The season had 24 hermits, with Stress removing her videos of the season. This leaves us with 23 hermits to look at. For total duration of episodes, Azuma, Cubvan, and XB take the lead with content of over 40 hours for this season. The average duration is 28 hours of content for Season 7. For number of episodes, our same leaders from duration take the lead with over 110 episodes each. The average episode count for this season is 67. For average episode length, Doc, Corrales, B-Dubs, and Etho have the highest average, all having episodes averaging over 30 minutes. The average for these seasons has stayed pretty consistent, with Season 7 having a 25-minute average episode length. Combining all of these episodes together, we have our first step backwards from the previous season. Season 7 has 663 hours and 1,554 episodes. That is 27 full days of Season 7 content. Season 8 is Hermitcraft's shortest season, beginning June 19th, 2021 and ending December 22nd, 2021. The season began in version 1.17 and ended in version 1.17.1. This season brought 2 new hermits, bringing the total up to 26 hermits. I am counting Beef's 100 Days episode, even though it isn't labeled as an episode. It's kind of treated like one in my opinion. We once again are missing Stress, so we will have 25 hermits to look at. For total durations of all episodes, Doc and XB are the highest with 20 hours of content. Most hermits have under 10 hours, with Etho being the lowest at 3 hours and 46 minutes. The average total duration for Season 8 is only 10 hours. For number of episodes, we have 5 hermits putting out over 30 episodes. That would be Cub, XB, Mumbo, Impulse, and Azuma. The average number of episodes for this season is 22. For average episode length, Doc, Corrales, Pearl, and B-Dubs all have an average episode length of over 30 minutes. The rest are very evenly spread in the 20 range, and the average episode length is 26 minutes. Combining all of these episodes together, we have the lowest total so far of 250 hours and 566 episodes. If you dedicate 10 straight days of your life, you could watch all of Season 8. Season 9 is the longest season of Hermitcraft so far, running from March 5th, 2022 until December 20th, 2023. The season began in version 1.18.1 and ended in 1.20.1. There were no new hermits added, and after having no episodes from Stress, we have 25 hermits. As stated before, I am not counting the episodes the members from Empire's SMP made on the server. I am counting the episodes where hermits were on Empire's SMP, as these were still treated as canon Hermitcraft episodes. This season also introduced Decked Out 2 in the last few months of the season. Decked Out 2 was a long game, with some of these runs lasting up to an hour or more. Hermits had different ways of uploading these runs. Etho and Joe included their runs in normal episodes, inflating them by a lot. Pearl, on the other hand, uploaded her Decked Out runs completely separately and were labeled completely separately, so I didn't include them. Another game this season was TCG, which also had some pretty long games. A lot of hermits like Beef uploaded these games completely separately, so I didn't include those. Others titled them as episodes like XB, so those were included. It got kind of confusing for you and for me. Just know there was a lot of game content this season. For total duration of episodes, XB, Cub, and Doc come out at top with over 60 hours of content each. 3 hermits had under 10 hours, including Mumbo and Wells, who took extended breaks from Hermitcraft, and TFC, who sadly passed away early on in the season. The average total duration was 29 hours. For number of episodes, only 2 hermits, XB and Cub, were over 100 episodes. Most hermits range in the 50 to 70 range, and the average number of episodes was 54. For average episode length, we have that influence of TCG and Decked Out for some hermits. Etho has the highest length with 1 hour and 12 minutes, and Doc isn't far behind with 59 minutes. Overall, the average here is definitely higher than previous seasons at 31 minutes. Combining all these episodes together, we have a total duration of 734 hours, 37 minutes, or 30 days. This is 1,372 episodes of Season 9 content, not counting all the Decked Out and TCG games you can watch separately. Season 10 began on February 3rd, 2024 on version 1.20.4, and as of May 2025, it is still ongoing, now in the latest version of 1.21.5. This season brought us 2 new hermits and also had Iskell and Stress depart mid-season. Is it mid if we don't know when it ends? This brings the count to 27 hermits, and after counting for Stress's deleted videos, we are at 26. I am including Joel's Q&A episode that is labeled as a half episode, but I'm not including the lost footage for Doc since it's not labeled as an episode. XB included a lot of half episodes and Tall Claims Court, and I'm counting all of those as episodes. I'm also including ZAF's Is That Sheep Looking At Me videos since his recent Hermitcraft episodes aren't numbered. I feel like I had a guess. Now this season is still being worked on, and even as I was writing this script, new episodes were being put out. I pulled my counts on May 23rd, 2025, so any videos uploaded after that date are not going to be included here. I decided this was enough data since the season has been running for 475 plus days, which is a little over a year. Obviously, this season won't perfectly line up to what the other seasons are because it's not complete, but let's look at what we've been doing for the previous seasons. For total durations of episodes, XB, Joe Hills, and Doc are all at over 40 hours of content. A majority of hermits are actually still under 25 hours, and the average is 23 hours. For number of episodes, Azuma, Joe, and XB are in the lead with over 70 episodes, with Cub, Ren, and Jevin not far behind. The average episode count is currently at 42. For average episode length, Doc is taking the prize with over an hour for an average episode. Etho and Grian are both at over 40 minutes as well, and no hermit has an average of under 20 minutes currently. The average for this season is at 32 minutes. Combining all these episodes together, we have a total duration of 600 hours or 25 days. These 1,094 episodes are what has been released so far, and we can expect to see more as the season progresses. So now we have the amount of content, and it's a lot. Personally, seeing these numbers, my initial impression was that this is both an insane video to make and an insane amount of content to even fathom watching. But hypothetical too much content is not enough. I need to know, is it possible? So first off, let's talk the big number. If you count every single episode from every single season, how much content is it? This is your last chance to get your guesses in, okay? Drumroll time. All 10 seasons of Hermitcraft with content that is still uploaded as of May 2025 is 6,173 hours, 43 minutes, and 29 seconds. Give or take some for possible mistakes I made in calculating, but I feel pretty confident in this number. That is 257 straight days of content. With 13,759 episodes to watch, there's a lot of Hermitcraft to catch up on. Obviously, you cannot watch for 24 hours straight. People need to eat and sleep. To break down if it's possible, I'm going to make 3 hypothetical situations. We're going to have person 1, who's very offline and only watches 1 hour of Hermitcraft a day. We're going to have person 2, putting in a full-time job and then some, watching 8 hours of Hermitcraft a day. And we're going to have person 3, the dedicated watcher, giving 12 hours a day to watching Hermitcraft. With these 3 scenarios, we have the number of days it would take you to watch. For 12 hours a day, it would take 514 days. For 8 hours a day, it would take 771 days. And for 1 hour a day, it would take 6,173 days. But this is only accounting for content currently out. Tara, how are you going to account for the new content? Surprise! There was another column I added and I didn't tell you about. Warning, equations and math ahead. To calculate for new content, I had to calculate the rate at which hermits upload. To do this, I found the number of episodes uploaded per day by getting the current number of season 10 episodes per hermit and dividing by the number of days the season has been up, which for season 10 has been 475 days. This gives us a decimal, a predicted number of episodes a day, allowing us to then calculate the predicted content over a period of days. For this calculation, we take the average episode duration that we covered earlier and multiply it by the number of days we want to calculate for. We then multiply that by the number of episodes per day fraction we just got. This will then give us the amount of hours of predicted content over a period of set days that we can control. Obviously, this isn't foolproof because hermits do not release content at set times or set durations. Seasons can also end at any time, so this prediction is only taking into account unwavering, never-ending season 10 calculation with no breaks. This is also only accounting for current hermits in season 10, assuming no hermits leave or quit and no new hermits are added. I think this is the best I can do. Since I'm not able to read the future and know the real amount of content that will be released, I need to do math and just get an estimate. So, as an example, if we wanted to guess how many hours of content B-Dubs will produce over 100 days, based on our calculation and his current rate of season 10 uploads, we would predict there would be 4 hours and 10 minutes of content in 100 days. So now, if we take into account these predicted future episodes, we can calculate when or if you would truly catch up. Let's plug in those numbers we got for our 12, 8, and 1 hour examples. Let's start off with 1 hour day. This would take 6,173 days or 16 and a half years. It feels silly using my season 10 prediction of content for this because in 16 years, we would probably have another 10 seasons of Hermitcraft, but whatever. Assuming constant uploads and the same hermits, there would be another 7,391 hours to add to that original total. If you were to not keep up with any of these new episodes and save them until you were done with your 16 years of Hermitcraft, you would just be in the same position, if not worse. This feels like a compounding interest problem where you simply cannot break out of your overwhelming debt. If you added on 1 hour and 24 minutes of content a day, assuming for the constant uploading over these 16 years, you would, in theory, be caught up. I'm declaring this one infeasible. A decade and a half of your time is not worth it to get caught up on Hermitcraft, and you would still need to add on almost an hour and a half extra a day to not fall behind. So let's up it a little. At 8 hours a day, it would take you 771 days to get through all 6,173 hours. In that time, 923 hours of content are predicted to be added. If you're calculating in that new content over those 771 days, it would be the same additional 1.5 hours each day in addition to the 8 hours to be able to catch up in those 771 days. Now, if you're watching 12 hours a day, it would take at least 514 days. So if we plug in 514 to our equation for all hermits, we have a total of 615 additional hours of content over that time, or 25 full days of extra content. If you are able to add in the hour and 24 minutes of content watching to your 12-hour days, you would not need any additional days and would be completely caught up in 514 days. I truly think this is the fastest you could feasibly watch all of Hermitcraft, assuming you were actually watching the content and not just having it on while you did your whole day, including sleep. So, do I think someone watching this might have the free time to watch 12, 13, 14 hours of content a day to catch up on Hermitcraft completely? Yeah. Do I think this is the best use of your time? That's for you to decide. If this is something you want, I think yes, it is possible to watch every episode of Hermitcraft, but only if you're putting in insane hours every day and are able to keep up with it every single day for over a year and a half. I also think if you're only interested in watching certain hermits or certain seasons, this is much more doable. If we're looking at the total hours of content per hermit, these top hermits are probably the hardest. There's a lot more content, they upload a lot more, and they put out long content. This middle tier is where things start looking a little more doable. With Etho only having 82 hours of Hermitcraft content, a solid 2 weeks of watching his content would get you completely done, all seasons. The newest hermits are still in this lowest amount, and they would certainly be one of the easiest to catch up and stay up to date on since they have no backlog. Now, you might be looking at these numbers and thinking, wow, that's a lot of time spent on YouTube. If anyone does that, they're crazy. I want to remind everyone to be kind to others and to yourself. I don't want to hear anything about watching content being a waste of time. I'm of the opinion that if you're doing something you enjoy, even if that's watching content, it's time well spent. Even if you no longer like that content in the future, I hope you can look back at it fondly. Hermitcraft has been so important to me and many others over the years. There's definitely people out there who have seen entire seasons, perhaps even people who are 100% caught up. And there's many more who only started this season, who only catch the big episodes or streams. There's no right way to consume Hermitcraft. I hope this video gives you a little insight into simply how much content is out there and how big of an impact it's potentially had on people. If you're considering spending hundreds of days of your life watching content, let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video for more Minecraft content. Bye!